Shalom, this is Yair Davidiy speaking to you from the land of Israel. Today we are about to discuss the characteristics of Judah. Judah was one of the sons of Israel. Judah was the fourth born son of Jacob. Jacob was renamed Israel. The mother of Judah was Leah. Jacob had two main wives, Rachel and Leah. The handmaiden of Rachel was Bilhah, the handmaiden of Leah was Zilpah. There were four women, and from these women Jacob begat the 12 tribes of Israel. Usually Judah is identified with the Jewish people, but this is correct insofar as in biblical terms the Jews are identified as Judah. They are referred to as Judah. The term Judah in the Bible refers to the Jewish people. We should remember that there were 12 tribes of Israel, and these 12 tribes had separated into two separate portions. The 10 tribes were in the north. They got lost consciousness of their ancestry, and they became the lost 10 tribes of Israel. But those tribes who remained were Judah and Benjamin in the kingdom of Judah. So the two main tribes that remained were Judah and Benjamin. After that, most of the tribe of Levi also joined onto Judah. And in the course of the tribulations and troubles and wars and so on that occurred following this, others from the other tribes also attached themselves to Judah. So that even though the Jewish people is dominated by the tribe of Judah, the other tribes present as minorities amongst Judah, and the main tribes amongst Judah are Simeon, Levi, Judah, Issachar, Joseph, and Benjamin. One way to remember this is that when the tribes came into the land of Canaan to conquer the land of Canaan, they were commanded to stand on the mountains of Gerizim and Abel near the city of Shechem. Those who stood on Mount Gerizim pronounced the blessings, and those who stood on Mount Abel pronounced the curses, or had the curses addressed to them. Now the tribes of the blessings, we find them in Deuteronomy 27, verse 20, when you cross the Jordan, they shall stand on Mount Gerizim to bless the Bible. Simeon, Levi, Judah, Issachar, Joseph, and Benjamin. So they are the main tribes amongst Judah. You have other tribes amongst Judah in more minorities, lesser and lesser proportional numbers. They are found in the next verse, Deuteronomy 27, verse 13. For the curse they shall stand on Mount Abel. For the curse they shall stand on Mount Abel, Reuben, Gad, Asher, Zebulun, Dan, and Naphtali. Nevertheless, the main tribes in Judah remain. Judah itself, Judah. The main tribes amongst the Jewish people are Judah, also Benjamin and Levi, with minority representations of all of the other tribes. In addition to that, through different permutations, different events and so on, and movements, many from Judah, or offshoots from Judah, also in the course of time attached themselves to the 10 tribes. So also amongst the lost 10 tribes you have elements from Judah. Nevertheless, the Bible refers to the Jewish people as Judah, and it refers to the 10 tribes as Joseph, or as Ephraim, or as Samaria, or as Israel, the house of Israel, as juxtaposed to the house of Judah, or sometimes, according to the context, also the house of Jacob, or the tribes of Jacob. In this present talk, we are about to discuss the characteristics of Judah, of the tribe of Judah. The name Judah connotes gratitude, acknowledgement, spiritual inclinations. It says in Genesis 29 concerning Leah, when she gave birth to Judah, and she conceived again and bore a son, and said, "Now I will praise the Lord." Therefore she called his name Judah. Then she stopped bearing. So the name Judah is from the Hebrew hoida'ah, connoting praise, give praise. It also has other indications. It also indicates acknowledgement, own up to, gratitude, and so also even confession, hoida'ah. Nevertheless, all of these connotations, they are related to each other. in their context. All of these connotations are related to each other. And we find these qualities amongst the Jewish peoples. And if you have these qualities, it doesn't mean that you are definitely descendant from Judah, but it is an indication. That is what we are doing. We are giving indications. We are giving clues and information. And the people concerned, those who to whom it speaks, those to whom it relates, who feel within themselves that this is saying something to them, they have to take this information and internalise it and take additional information and more information and feedback and messages, as if to say, and from out of this a more clear-cut picture should emerge, God willing. We have incidents concerning Judah in the Bible through which we may learn something about the qualities of Judah. Judah, as we said, was the fourth-born son after Reuben, Simeon and Levi. His mother was Leah. The sister of Leah was Rachel. Rachel bore Joseph and Benjamin. The other sons were jealous of Joseph, so they grabbed hold of him when they were in the field, and they intended to kill him and to throw him in a pit, his body, and to throw him in a pit, and to pretend to their father that a wild beast had torn him to pieces. Now, whilst they were considering this, they grabbed him, they put him in a pit, and they were considering what to do. And they sat down to eat, and as they were eating, a caravan of Ishmaelites passed by, that is the equivalent of Arabs. And Judah, as we find in Genesis 37:26, so Judah said, and 27, as we find in Genesis 37:26 and 27, it says, so Judah said to his brothers, what profit is there if we kill our brother and conceal his blood? Come, and let us sell him to the Ishmaelites, and let not our hand be upon him, for he is our brother and our flesh. And his brothers listened. So here we have Judah making a suggestion, and his suggestion being accepted. The sages in the Talmud Sanhedrin 6b said that Judah should be condemned for what he did, not praised, even though he did save the life of Joseph. But he should not be praised for it. But in the same way as he exhibited leadership in not killing Joseph, but in selling him, so too he could have returned him to his father. Nevertheless, whatever the sages say, we can also see that the action of Judah did indicate a degree of fraternal consideration for Joseph. It also shows leadership, and also it shows a love of money. There was a love of money here. So we can ask, do you have leadership qualities? Do you have fraternal feelings? Do you have a loyalty to some degree to your brothers? Do you value money to an exaggerated degree? Could you be bribed? So this brings us to a certain point, vulnerability and sensitivity, because the Jewish people, they are, relatively speaking, compared to other peoples, they are good with money, even though there are a lot of poor Jewish people. It doesn't automatically apply. It doesn't mean that if you're not a millionaire that you can't belong to Judah, because a lot of poor people do belong to Judah. Nevertheless, Judah has, relatively speaking, an aptitude for financial matters, and he appreciates the value of money, and this can be a good or bad point. And we have to be very careful here, because we have the point of vulnerability and sensitivity. Now, those of you who have been following these talks on the subjects like this given by us, they will know that we are not afraid to criticise different tribes, different peoples. When we see negative points, we talk about them, even if it's not certain whether these negative points actually apply to such a degree. It's enough that there's an indication about them, so we treat them with characteristics like any other characteristics that may be followed up upon or maybe taken note of. But with Judah we have a problem. We have a problem because we have anti-Semites, and we also have the fact that Judah is vulnerable. Judah throughout his history has been persecuted, he has been victimized, he's been marginalized, lies have been spoken about him, outright falsehoods have been said about Judah. Not only that, not only outright falsehoods, but exaggerations. People have taken a bit of the truth and twisted it and exaggerated it or interpreted in a way that it should not have been so interpreted. And so too, anything we say, even if it's got a little bit of negativity in it, is liable to be taken by our enemies, by the enemies of the Jewish people, and misrepresented. So that poses for us a problem, because we don't want this to happen. But at the same time, we're looking for the truth. We have to present the truth. And we have good motivations. What motivations that we have what we believe to be good motivations in this matter. So let us go ahead. Another point is that Jews are sensitive. Judah is sensitive, possibly because of their historical experiences. Judah is perhaps more sensitive than other peoples. Everyone is sensitive. You have sensitive people amongst every nation, amongst every people. And amongst in the same family of people, some people, members of the family, are more sensitive than others. This is a human trait. So it's difficult to generalize, but we could say to some degree Judah is sensitive, a little bit more sensitive than the normal, than the average person, and also he has an appreciation for finances. He's vulnerable, and he also has a leadership potential. Many leaders come from Judah, whether even Jews amongst the Gentiles, even amongst Gentiles who dislike them. They often appoint Jews to be their managers, Jews to be their leaders. They elect them to public office because Jews do have this quality. This is a quality of Judah. It's not exclusive to Judah, but it is an indication along with other indications. We also have the case of Tamar. Tamar was the daughter-in-law of Judah. Genesis chapter 38 tells us how Judah married the daughter of a Canaanite called Shua. He had 3 sons from this lady. Onan and Shelah. And Onan died. Shelah was left when he was young. And died, he had no children, so his wife Tamar was given to his brother Onan. And Onan also died without children, so Tamar should have been given to the 3rd son, Shelah. But Judah was afraid that Tamar had some type of jinx over her. He sees that he's marrying her off to his sons, one after the other, and they die. And he doesn't want it to happen to Shelah. So he says to Tamar, so he said to Tamar, wait until the son Shelah grows up, gets a little bit older, and then I'll give you to him, then I will give him to you, then I will give you to him as a wife. So this happened. Shelah grew up, but Tamar saw that she was not given unto him as a woman, as a wife. So she disguised herself as a wanton woman, as a lady of fortune, and she went and sat by the roadside, and Judah did not recognize her, and he came up and he negotiated with her that she should allow him to come to be with her, and as surety she took from him his staff and his signet ring, and then they had intercourse, and Judah went on his way. And when he sent his friend with a kid goat to pay what he owed and get back his surety, his mortgage, as if to say, they couldn't find her. 3 months later, Judah was told that Tamar, his daughter-in-law, in other words, his daughter-in-law, Judah had the status of a king, of a local potentate. Judah was told that Tamar was pregnant. So, as was the custom, he ordered that Tamar be taken out to be burnt. When Tamar was being taken out, she sent to Judah the signet ring and the staff, and saying, I am pregnant from the person to whom these objects belong. And Judah acknowledged them. So this is also a trait of Judah. Let us see what it says. Let us see what it says in Genesis 38, verse 26. So Judah acknowledged them and said, she has been more righteous than I, because I did not give her to Shelah my son, and he never knew her again. And so, but Tamar, after that, gave birth to 2 sons, twins, Perez and Zerah. We should be noted that after the giving of the Torah, this practice of Yibum, when a woman does not bear children and her husband dies, and she is given to her brother, for him to bear children from her. And this is the law. unless he decides not to, unless the person decides not to, they doesn't want to do so. So then you have a whole ceremony of releasing the woman from her obligation, or of them being released from their obligation. And this, according to the law, can only be conducted between brothers. This law, however, is after the giving of the Torah on Mount Sinai. Before Mount Sinai, the same practice existed, but it could be with any member of the family. So Judah, as well as his sons, were legal candidates for this task, and so by, as if to say, deceiving Judah into fulfilling his duty, she was in the right from all points of view. From this incident of Tamar and Judah, we see that Judah has a quality, according to, which is also consistent with his name. He acknowledges the truth. He owns up to the truth. He confesses his misdeeds. He's prepared to take public opprobrium. He's prepared to face public opprobrium. He takes responsibility for what he has done. He owns up to the truth. He is prepared to stand alone. These are qualities of Judah. Another point is that despite being a respected person, Judah was also liable to fall down, and Tamar knew about it. Tamar went and sat on the wayside and whilst Judah was going by, and she must have been known that there was a good chance that Judah would ask for her services, as indeed he did. So this too may be a quality of Judah. Also we find in King David, who was from Judah, who also has the qualities of Judah that we can learn from, as we will see. King David also slipped up with a woman with Bathsheba. He was vulnerable on this matter. So this too may be a characteristic of Judah, even though this certain vulnerability, this weakness for the opposite sex, is universal, but there are those who can resist it more than others. We will continue this talk and give you more points concerning the characteristics of Judah. May the Lord God of Israel bless you. Thank you.